Good afternoon. Thank you all for attending this afternoon. My name is Dan Betzler, and I am the District Coordinator for the Deaf Communication Studies program. Before we introduce the class of 2025, I'd like to acknowledge a few people that allowed this event to happen and support throughout the year. Of course, President White, President Perkins, Dean Mead, Karen Wade, and Julie Taylor, T and Marie, who run the building here, Aaron, who's doing our live streaming for us, and Shantana Stewart, and of course, Mark Etchell, our photographer. But last but not least, my right arm, Miss Evelyn McWilliams. I couldn't do anything without her, and I really appreciate her continued support. Now I'd like to recognize the family and friends of these students. I understand what it takes to go through this program, and I understand the hours that they spend in their practicum experience. I know they're driving all over the city, and in the end of this, you'll see some photographs of them working throughout the city, but I know that you all have helped out, whether it's being away from your spouse or taking care of a child or driving somewhere to some event that they were supposed to attend. So I know the time that takes, and I understand. So I would like to give yourselves a round of applause. And now, without any more waiting, I'd like to introduce you to the DCS class of 2025. So along with myself as the coordinator of the full-time faculty, Eric Driscoll, and now John Ferrari. So I'm thrilled to have John join us as a full-time faculty member. Of course, we couldn't do it without the many adjunct faculty members we have. There's so many, I can't mention them all, but you all know who you are and how much work you do, and we really appreciate it all. To start with, your program says that there'll be faculty speakers. We're going to start with J. Eric Driscoll first, and then Mark Judlowski. So if Eric would come up.
Thank you, Dan. And I'd like to also piggyback and say thanks to you for supporting our students. It takes a lot, and you guys know that. You guys clean up really well. I just got to say, thank you. Huh?
I didn't mention the deaf community.
Oh, yeah. I would like to also thank the deaf community. I'd like to thank the deaf community for sharing your language with us, sharing your culture with us, and sharing yourself with us. I have benefited more than I could ever say because of my involvement with the deaf community. So I appreciate you. We appreciate you. So you guys are going to need a survival bag. Mary Poppins had one. Felix the cat had one. Maybe that's a little bit of an older reference. So if I'm not mistaken, Dora the Explorer, I think, had a backpack. Yeah? So you're going to need a bag, and you're going to need some stuff in your bag. And I would say certainly if you're going to interpret, but probably even if you're not. So I'm going to give each of you a bag today. You're going to need one bigger than this. Because one of the things you're going to want in your bag is a change of clothes or a different outfit in case you're running around and get some text or call and you need to get to an assignment. You might need to have an outfit ready to change into because you don't have time to get home. I did not get you an outfit in the bag. But a few things I got you. One is a compass. If you could use it to find your way around, get a map, learn how to read it, but you should have this compass point about every 6 months, every year, to Jefferson City or Illinois or wherever you happen to live to go test. And when you go test, you should plan on going back and retesting and upping your certification until you can get the highest level of certification, which is what our deaf community deserves. So this compass, I hope, helps you keep that in mind. Also have a pen and paper in here because you're going to want to take some notes. When you team an assignment, you're going to want to communicate with your team, but you're going to want to write down good ideas and professional development opportunities to help your skills soar. I've got hand sanitizer, like, right? You probably have some, but you've got another bottle now. In here, if I can grab a few, there's safety pins. And I know from personal experience, having a catastrophic wardrobe malfunction on an assignment, that these can save your outfit and maybe save you from exposing yourself in an assignment. If you know, you know. I've got you an eraser. In your work, you're going to make mistakes, and that is expected, and that is, there's nothing wrong with that. If you stop what you're doing and work to repair that mistake, it's almost like it didn't even happen. So, you got an eraser. And I gave you a Band-Aid because sometimes you just need a Band-Aid. Actually, I gave you 2 so you can share. Other items you may need, suntan lotion, maybe some Advil or pain meds. You're going to want a snack for when you miss lunch. I would suggest something that wouldn't melt in your car on a day like today. And if you figure out what that is, let me know because it's melty out there. I would suggest having a professional book or journal for when you arrive early. Have something to do to wait until the assignment starts. I hope that you continue to utilize your resources, first and foremost our deaf community and their language and the culture they share with us. But I also hope that you utilize your resources in the faculty here, each other. We are here to support you in any way we can, and I know you support each other. Be open and seek out feedback from the deaf community. And when a deaf person is vulnerable enough to give you feedback, make a big deal about it and thank them, because it's not always safe to offer that feedback, and we have to respond in a way that makes it safe to give us the feedback that we have to grow our skills. And lastly, I certainly always look forward to the day that I show up to some assignment and I'm teaming with one of you, and we will be peers and we'll be on equal footing, and I simply can't wait, and I'll have a big old grin and looking forward to it. Congratulations.
I don't know if Mark, I know he was running late. Is Mark here? Okay, we'll move forward. The next thing in the program is the Suzanne Kamen Alumni Award. We give this award every year to an alumni who has gone beyond the call of duty in working and servicing the deaf community. Suzanne was a trailblazer. She was one of our first graduates. Unfortunately, she died of cancer at a very young age. but she worked in the city with the underprivileged. She also was very active in the Jewish community. And so we named this award after her in honor of her and her work, because it was never, she was just selfless. And so she would do work pro bono. And I was fortunate enough to work with her when I worked in the city in the late 80s. So the person who's going to introduce the award recipient is someone I know pretty well. It was Chris's first deaf person that she met, and she happens to be my wife. I had a T-shirt that said Lisa's husband, because when I first entered the community, nobody knew who I was until I said I was Lisa's husband. And then they were like, oh, okay, yeah. So Lisa, you want to come up and introduce Chris for us? Oh, there she is.
Oh, I get to go after Dan. Lucky me. Okay, you guys ready for me? Ready? Good, good. Okay. I am here to give the award to Chris. This is her sign name, a C on her upper arm. And I want to tell you the story about who Chris is. A long time ago, Chris was in the military. She was in the military for 10 years. So now she is a veteran, and she fought and served during the Iraqi war. And then when she left the military, she was trying to decide what she wanted to do with her life. And she remembered a long time ago, when she was in elementary school, she would ride the bus to school, and the bus driver was teaching all of the kids how to sign their ABCs, how to fingerspell. And she wanted to learn, kept working to learn it, and kept getting many, many awards from the bus driver every time she would sign something right. So then she just, you know what, I think I'd like to learn ASL. So she started searching to find a program. She found the program here at FVCC, and that was the beginning of her story here. So she's here in the program. She did such a great job, and she graduated from the program in 2011. By the way, also, she has degrees in anthropology, and she has a master's in adult education as well. And she has volunteered so much in the deaf community. And mostly we all know her for her hard work in the music and performance arena of our field. But understand, she has volunteered for so many different events in the deaf community. And our plan is that we will snag her. She's working for SWIC right now, but our plan is to snag her and bring her back here to FVCC to work in this program. That's our hope, and we will. Now, and by the way, I need you to know she is involved in so many different athletics as well. Running, swimming, biking, oh my gosh, like the Ironman, basically, that type of competition. So now it is time for us to give you your award, Chris. Chris Cook Phelps, please come up to the stage for your award.
You're very deserving of this award. Okay. Really, really, this reward is just such an honor for me. I'm so glad to be here to accept this award this afternoon. First, I want to start by thanking some people. First of all, I want to thank St. Louis Community College. I want to thank the DCS program, and of course, the panel. The chairman that gave me this award, so it's just very worthy of receiving it. And honestly, I'm just so grateful, and I'm a little bit overwhelmed by everything. Well, you know what? What's really funny, I want to start with this program in 2000. I started this program in 2008. And the first day, when I was in my first class, Lisa was my instructor, of course. And, there was an interpreter in there. I don't know if you know who this was. Tim? Casey Gill was the interpreter. And so in the classroom, which we're all sitting around in a horseshoe shape, and the interpreter was sitting in the middle. And so I was so motivated and very excited to be there. And so I walked in, and I just sat down in that chair, and finally Lisa showed up, and she came in, and she introduced herself, and Casey introduced herself, and we explained about what was going to go on in the class. And the first thing she said was, I'll never forget, okay, now, this is the first day we're going to have the interpreter, and the only day. And from here on out, we will not have an interpreter any longer. And I was shocked. I felt like, what? My heart just, sunk to my stomach. I was like, what? This can't be it. How am I going to learn anything? I don't know how to communicate with you. And then I realized, okay. I just got to roll up my sleeves and just do it. And really, I felt very fortunate that I made the decision to go into this program. That one moment taught me so much, more than anything I learned from a book. Anything I could have learned was just being able to sometimes you just got to face things in your life and go for it. Right now, today, my time here, it's completely changed my life. You have to understand that I graduated in 2011. Man, 2011, that's a long time ago. Is that crazy, right? I don't know. Anyway, and I've worked really hard throughout that time. I graduated with honors. I was the president of the DCS club. And I was involved in many, many activities. And I had many different labels for myself during that time. I wanted to grasp everything I could get. I wasn't thinking about an award. I wasn't thinking about me. I was just doing everything I could. That wasn't what really changed me. The changes came by meeting the people and interacting. All those experiences with the deaf community, it just opened my eyes to a whole new world. And I just never forget that. I felt very lucky. I'm glad I wore waterproof mascara today. For example, when I was doing my practicum, I had one assignment that I had taken. I know we do them every year in the community, and it was called the What's Right with the Region. And there was a lot of people there from the community, and recognized a lot of people, and they were really active and doing things with the St. Louis area. And so it was me and Cliff, another student interpreter, and so we're there interpreting, and I'd never heard of this program before. So as we're going through everything, and I was like, wow, all these people are I've really looked up to them, what they're doing. They're like rock stars. They're here in St. Louis, and they're making all these recognitions. They're helping people in need in the community. And there were people that were just this approach someone and they say, hey, we just need to do it. And that really impacted me, and I realized that I was like them, that I wanted just to be a part of that as well with the community. I wanted to do things with the community. I wanted to make changes. Also now, as I'm here and I'm now involved with the deaf community, I realize, yes, St. Louis has really a lot of opportunities for making changes and doing things and making better additions and help, earn money to help people and do all these programs. But where's the access for the deaf community? What's being done for them? At that time, I had not just make that decision that I wanted, that wasn't my fit yet, but I was in the process, and I was in this major, and I was interpreting, but I also wanted to collaborate with the deaf community, and so we could have everything for St. Louis and have more access for them as well. Anyway, now, I do want to thank so many people. I can't even give everyone's name. But I'd be here all day if I had to name everyone. But the first one I want to thank is Dan. Dan, you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. You know, he's the man who really was the glue that has held this program together. DCS program will be here forever. It's been here forever. Dan's been here forever. And, and so the program's been here forever too, but Dan is as well. Before, when I was in his class, and I learned so much, and I was so eager to learn, I wrote everything down. But that time, as now that I've come now, I feel like I feel so honored to be his colleague and to work with him. It's so special to me. So thank you, Dan. Thank you for teaching me so much. My deaf instructors, I had so many. Two in particular was Nina, and she's not here anymore, but she was a wonderful woman. Oh, she was fantastic. I loved her. And then Lisa, of course. Where are you? There you are. Hello, Lisa. Lisa, again, was the first deaf person that I ever met, and she scared the crap out of me. Also, she taught me all 4 ASL classes. I had ASL 1, 2, 3, and 4 with her. Because Lisa, her class was fun. She was always being sarcastic. She was joking and teasing. And also she accepted no bullshit. We had to deal with it. Am I right about Lisa, right? You challenged me, tell me, I'm talking about you. Don't tell me, be done. No. You challenged me and throughout all 3 years. So thank you so much for that. I will love you forever. You're like my deaf mother. Also, my deaf tutors, I did so much of them. Going to the deaf lab. I went every week, over and over again. I was showing up going, I need help. And I'm sure they're like, oh, here she is again, but I don't care. They were great. Esther, are you here? There you are. I love you, Esther. Thank you so much for teaching me all that you did, sharing your language with me. You and Clovis were amazing. I don't think you guys knew Clovis, so I'm really sad for you that you didn't get to meet them. Because he was a wonderful man. He's still here. He's not dead. Don't worry. He's just not dead. He's just not here at Flo Valley anymore. Sorry. So Esther, thank you for sharing your language, your time, and thank you for your patience with me. You were such a wonderful help, and you've changed my life. And my other colleagues, Loretta Freeman, and there's so many more. Melissa Fearsons, Henley, David and Michelle, Jesse, of course. He's always been a wonderful support when we team together. Susan, I do know that one. And there's so many other interpreters. Justine, those people, particularly those that I just named, they really have helped me and inspired me, influenced me with my career and to approach how I'm become a better interpreter. And all those, they were all good experiences with them. All wonderful people. So I just want to say thank you to all of them. And my husband, there you are, Owen. We started this program back in 2008. We started dating. We were so poor. We were so broke back then. And I worked at Red Lobster, but he took on two jobs, one full time during the day, and then he picked up a second job at night because he knew that I had to, focus on my studies of this program, and it was very important, and so he sacrificed so much for me. So I know your time and your work, all that you did during that time, I was able to do everything I needed to do to be able to learn this craft and be successful. And I know you sacrificed your weekends and let me go to workshops and everything, money that we had to spend for all this so I could learn more and more. So thank you. I can't say how much I thank you and I love you. I cherish you. And I will never regret. I'll never forgive you for the driver's license. And like my baby. Lisa still makes fun of me about that. But putting that aside, except for that, I love you for everything you've done for me. Most importantly, I want to thank all the deaf community. Thank you, and for inviting me into your world, teaching me, showing me your, patience and your kindness and your love, and trusting me, the trust you put in me, and everything that I've learned in life from you. This job and this career as an interpreter, it's heavy. But I don't, I don't look at it just as a job. Oh, I'm gonna do this job or whatever. No, every job that I take, every assignment, it's a lot. And I love it. So thank you so much. Now, I want to tell you students, this job as an interpreter, it's hard. Man, it's really hard. It's a messy job. There's no SOP, standards operation, the rules or tell you how things go. You don't have that. Every day is a different day. Every assignment you go into, you have to go through life. And you're impacting other people's lives, and it's complex. And you just have to, navigate yourself through it. Have to make decisions like immediately. It doesn't matter, if it's a language decision or it can be an ethical decision. You have to make these decisions immediately, and you have to really think quick. It's really impactful all these decisions you make impact other people's lives. My advice to you, when you graduate and when you get your certification, not if, when, I didn't mean graduation, sorry, I meant your certification, and you start working, before you go into your first job, take a pause for a moment and ask yourself, why am I here? You know what the answer will be? It should be anyway. You're there to support the deaf person and facilitate communication. The hearing side, there's the hearing side too. You got to facilitate both sides of communication. But you're there to advocate, you're there to support that deaf person's experience. If your heart leads you, or lead with your heart for all your decisions, every one of them, that's really important. It doesn't matter, if you feel a little awkward, a little doubtful. Sometimes it's hard to make the right decision. It's still hard. Even though you know it, it's still hard. But if you lead with your heart, you will be fine, and you'll make the right choice. I promise. In this profession, you can't be selfish. You are rooted and love in this possession. In this profession, you must be. You have to remember and you have to believe everyone requires accessibility. No one's left behind, never. And thank you again for this wonderful opportunity and this honor for receiving this reward. And thank you for all your help in challenging me and reminding me and leading me, encouraging me with love. If you do everything with love, with every decision, you'll never really make the wrong choice or the wrong decision. Thank you.
You did all the work, Chris, so it's much more than what you learn in the classroom, and anyone who's become an interpreter understands that. So it's the hours outside that also make a good interpreter. So next we have a faculty member who taught most of these students in the upper classes, their ASL 3 and 4 classes, and that would be Mark Jodlowski. So Mark, would you like to come up and say a few words? Where is he? Oh, there he is. He was over here.
I'll give you a script, okay? I'm going to start. What, is it music? Hello, hello. Look at all these people. Oh, look at Chris. Oh, congratulations, Chris, for your reward. I know Susan Coleman, I knew her. I'm sorry. And she was my friend. And my wife and I, the three of us, we had a lot of fun together. She was awesome. She was an awesome woman. And I had a lot of respect for her, so I really miss her. Okay, anyway, I want to share with you, look at all of them. They've worked so hard, and they've studied and studied, and they've learned their receptive skills and their expressive skills. And I know some of them were the night students instead of the daytime students. So I didn't teach all the night students, so I've had most of them, though. So what I want to do is assign to you a poem, and it's called The Climb. It was before, I don't know if you remember the singer. Her name is Miley Cyrus. Do you know who she is? Yes, okay, yay, they know her. See, they're so excited. They like music, you know. It was like a song in 2009. So, but I'm going to sign it for you guys as a poem, okay? Okay, I can almost see it. The dream. I'm dreaming. But there's a voice. There's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost without direction. My faith is shaking. But I'm going to keep trying. But I've got to keep trying. I've got to keep my head held high. There's always going to be another mountain. I'm always going to want to make it move. It's always going to be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm going to have to lose. It ain't about how fast I can get there. It's not about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes it might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm going to remember most. Yeah. I just got to keep going. And I've got to be strong. And I've just got to keep pushing on because there's always going to be another mountain, right? And I'm always going to want to make it move. Always going to be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm going to have to lose. It ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Yeah. There's always going to be another mountain. I'm always going to want to make it move. There's always going to be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm going to have to lose. It's not about how fast I get there. It ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Yeah. Keep on moving. Keep on climbing. Keep the faith, baby. It's all about the climb. Keep your faith. Keep your faith. Whoa. Wow. Congratulations.
Mark, that was beautiful. As many times as I have shared this stage with you in different productions, along with your wife and mine, I forget how expressive you can be. And finally, we have our student representative, Brianna Scott Hudson, who'd like to say a few words.
Thanks. I was like, I can't reach that. Hi. Thanks. It's like quiet around here. Whew. Not gonna mess this up. I'm not gonna mess this up. Hi. Once again, my name is Brianna, and I want to thank you guys for coming and sharing this moment with us, all 11 of us. on the stage. Appreciate y'all for coming. For months, I've been trying to figure out what to say in the speech. And I didn't know if I wanted it to be funny, if I wanted it to be sad or serious, or everything in between. I didn't know. I've talked to multiple people, and they said, just be yourself. And I said, myself is an unmedicated person who has ADHD, but here we go. 3 years ago, if you would have told me that I could have a conversation in another language, or I would be up here delivering a speech to all of you today, I would have thought you were crazy. But here I am. In the 3 years, we have laughed, we have cried, we have gotten angry, and we have plenty of, I have no idea what that person is saying. But you're doing your best to hide it, or if you were anything like me, you got cupcake and grass mixed up on a test, or you didn't know the sign for license or how to spell it, so you spend 10 minutes trying to figuring out what it was and how the word Arizona tied into the whole sentence. Turns out they weren't connected at all, and I missed the transition in the topic. Sorry. When we started school, we took ASL 1. We had an interpreter on the first day, like Chris said, and then we never saw them again. And I believe that interpreter was Jesse. Yeah. I think at that moment I realized that there were men in this field, and I don't think I ever saw another man until I saw Jesse again. So I was like, Jesse must be the only one here. We were all trying to figure out what the teacher was saying without an interpreter, and then we slowly came to understand what was going on. Then ASL 2 came, and I had it with John, and we also did finger spelling and numbers. And I spent 4 months in that class, and I still don't remember the techniques to figure out how to distinguish the numbers and distinguish the letters, but I do know that don't read the individual letters, but read the word, and you'll figure it out. You still might struggle. Strive with confidence, keep going. And then ASL 3 came, and we took it with Mark, and we were all trying to figure out the difference between sell, store, and shopping. Y'all remember that test? And I was like, Mark, what's going on? What are you doing, hon? And he was like, figure it out. And I said, okay, bestie, I guess. Then ASL 4 happened, and some of us took it with Zach, and our human anatomy lesson, remember that? And that's all I'm gonna say. If you weren't in the class, sorry. And we laughed and we kept going. And then we didn't take any more ASL classes. It was the only interpreting classes from here on out. We sat in those chairs and pretended to understand what was going on, and sometimes we did. But most times, it was a smile and wave moment, and you just kept going. Although it wasn't our finest moments in class or semester, we made it through, and nobody got hurt because we messed up. Not all of us had the same journey to get to where we are today. Some of us went to another school or moved here. Some of us took a break and came back. Some of us, and for some of us, this is our first time being in college. Whether you started years ago or just 3, we all had the same finish line. We all made it to this pinning after years of hard work and fun obstacles. And at the end, we always came out on top. And the last 3 years were filled with, I'm tired of this grandpa. And just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Especially when you're on assignment in your last year and internally you're going, you're killing me, Smalls. Can we get to the point, please? Because I think I lost the plot a while ago. But we made it through, and there was a light at the end of the tunnel. This group that sits here before you is filled with inside jokes like, never wear green nails because you'll have olives on your hands. And if you weren't there for Katie's class, I'm so sorry, because that was a funny story. Or that salt and pepper is just seasoning. You all needed to be in the room where it happened. For the past 3 years, we laughed, we cried. We probably threw a book in the air and hoped someone else caught it because we were done. And I can't tell you how many times I've told Eric and Dan that I am done and I'm walking away. And they go, okay, you can walk away. And then I'm back in class next time because I already paid for the class. So, gotta get your money's worth. There's trust and security among 12 of us, but 11 sitting front. One piece of advice that was great advice from day one was to socialize with the deaf community. First, I want to start off by saying I truly, truly appreciate the deaf community. Without you, we wouldn't be where we are, and you guys are a huge inspiration, and I truly appreciate every single one of you for taking the time to figure out, what are you saying? Oh, your name. That's the wrong sign, but I think I got it. For having your own smile and wave moment with us and keep pushing through, even when we looked like we had no idea what you were saying, and you're just continuing with the story, and you're like, this person's lost, but we're gonna keep going. It felt like a chore the first day we did it. It's like, oh, we gotta go. But then after a while, you start to build relationships, and you start to build a family and a sense of community within. And then it no longer felt like a chore. It felt like just hanging out with a friend or maybe an older sister, and a relationship was born. People who supported me in my journey and learning and getting to know them, it never felt like a chore. It felt real. It felt like an encounter where I did a lot of talking because I am a certified yapper. I feel you. My coworkers know I talk a lot. And if you ever know me, I talk a lot. And I've seriously lost the plot a long time ago, but I'm still looking forward to okay. And that's ADHD for you. This community has welcomed all of us with open arms and open minds and understanding that this person just wants to be friends, and we are just girls and Grant and Isaiah. Of course, that we just want to be friends, and it's not a chore to hang out with them, that they are my actual friends, and I love each and every one of you. Thank you, Brittany and Lauren, for coming out. I appreciate you. And I'll leave with this, and then I won't talk anymore. It's written by Dr. Seuss. It says, you have brains in your head, and you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where to go. I appreciate you for spending the last 3 years. You guys have created amazing memories, and thank you.
So finally, we get to the part that's most exciting that you've been waiting for, and that's the pinning. Oh, thank you, Brianna. She does talk a lot. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. Always, she also has been very involved with the Deaf Communications Club, and so her work just continues throughout the year, and I hope she'll be back to visit some of our future students to talk about possibilities for them. In the end here, you will get to see some of the work they've done over the last 3 years in a slideshow. But before that, we're going to have Tracy and Esther come up to give the students their pins. They'll each receive a pin that looks like the one you're seeing on the projector there. So if Tracy and Esther would come up. She's going the right direction. Yeah. They're looking for the box that Eric put together, the survival kits there. Are you ready, ladies?
Yep, we're ready.
First of all, Grant Baxter. Welcome to the profession of interpreting. Desiree.
Come back here, come back here. Okay, you need that too. Okay, now, smile big. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
High five.
He also gets the other bag and a hat. Desiree Campos.
Oh yeah, you get that too, yeah.
The iris is a representation of the goddess of messengers. So an iris is a representation for an interpreter. Kirsten Collier.
Wait, come here, come here.
Allison Damari. Davis Dunn. Pamela D. Gardner. I'd like to recognize Christy Hyatt, who could not be with us today. Do we have a slide for Christy? There she is. Maddie Mahoney. Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. Max Christner. Maddie Mahoney. Brianna Scott Hudson. Isaiah J. Shoemake. Birdie Thompson. Congratulations, DCS class of 2025. And before we close today, the students have put together a series of videos or photographs that they put together over the last 3 years of work. You'll see some of the community work in there as well. So if we could show that now. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors. As you could see, the students work with many, many different organizations across the St. Louis metropolitan area. In closing, I'd like to remind you all, first, thank you for coming, and then at the closing of the ceremony, we'll move these chairs forward so that group pictures can be taken of the class so that you'll be able to do that. Again, I want to thank you all, and I really want to congratulate and recognize the hard work of these 11 students sitting on this stage tonight. So let's give them one more round of applause. Please join us for a reception afterwards in the lobby. Thank you again for coming.